be similar to our grandparents or our parents' siblings. That is why sometimes people who know them recognize us even if they have never met us before. I realize very often people ask me, "Are you Dr. Rajiv Joshi's sister?" And I wonder, I don't know those people. You look exactly the same. So I wonder, how do they know? Because we look exactly the same. Being born with certain features of traits is common with the members of our family. That is called heredity. Please underline, what is heredity? Being born with certain features or traits in common with the members of our family is called heredity. These are our inherited traits. Now what are traits? Traits means features or certain qualities. And these traits we get from our parents, grandparents, or from maybe some relative, blood relation, and that is called heredity. So these qualities that we have got is called inherited qualities or traits. However, even though many of our traits are like those of our family members, no one has any control over which trait we can inherit and which we will not. You cannot always control. You might say, "Oh no, why didn't I look like my father? He was very handsome. Why didn't I look more like my mother? She was very slim and I have become fat like my grandmother." So we will keep on thinking that way, but we cannot help it. Now see, whatever we get from our parents, that is what we are born with. And we must be happy. Never feel, "I wanted to be tall, I want to be fair." Whatever you are, you should be happy with it. Now read and reflect. Reflect means think about it. Okay, now think about what we are going to tell you. An industrialist had worked hard to expand his business. Expand means increase. An industrialist is a person who has an industry or he owns a factory. Okay, so he wants to expand his business and he has 3 assistants. Assistants means helpers. Okay, so he has 3 helpers. He conducted an experiment to decide whom to make the head of his factory after he retired. तो एक उद्योगपति था, उसके 3 हेल्पर्स थे, तो मैं रिटायर हो जाऊंगा तो मेरे बाद में कौन संभालेगा? He has to decide. He gave 5 lakh rupees to each of them and told them to do whatever they thought best with the money. After a year, he called them and asked them to report how they had used the money. Okay? हर एक को 5-5 लाख दिए और कहा जो करना है करो और 1 साल के बाद बताओ. Okay, report to me उसका क्या किया. Now, first assistant, he said, "I have kept the money safe. It cannot fall into anyone's hands. I can bring it back to you whenever you say." मैंने उसको safe जगह पे रखा है, सुरक्षित जगह पे रखा है, तो आप जब चाहो मैं लाकर देता हूँ. That means he must have kept it in safe deposit vault or he must have kept it in a tijori. Second assistant, "This year I doubled the amount of the yearly bonus we give our workers. I also gave them all a feast. Feast यानी banquet. I gave them nice food and all buffet dinner. And all the workers are very happy. I think I used the money really well." Bonus you get once a year. Generally during Diwali time you may get bonus. Because you have worked hard full year. So your boss will give you bonus. So this time all our workers in the factory I gave double bonus. And I gave them nice feast. So they will be happy. Now third assistant, he said, "With part of the money you gave, I bought better machines. For the factory you need machines." So he said, little part, not full 5 lakhs. One part I bought machine. So our production grew 5-fold. Now what is the meaning of 5-fold? 5-fold means 5 times. तो हमारा प्रोडक्शन 5 गुना बढ़ गया. Then our product is also of better quality because this new machine can make it very good quality. And the demand for it has also grown. That means from the market everyone is asking for our product. We made a profit of 25 lakhs in just about 8 months. 8 महीनों में 25 लाख का हमको profit मिला. So I used 10 lakhs to build a canteen that the workers needed. Out of that 25 lakhs, I used 10 lakhs for the workers. So they will get food over there in the factory, good food they will get in the canteen. I have put 5 lakhs in the welfare fund for the workers. And I think I shall use the remaining 10 lakhs to buy one more machine. Now 10 lakhs is remaining still. So I will buy one more machine. You can easily guess who the industrialist chose as his successor. सक्सेसर यानी आपके बाद में कौन संभालेगा, तो किसको चुना होगा उसने? थर्ड असिस्टेंट. सी फर्स्ट असिस्टेंट 5 lakhs remained 5 lakhs, correct? He kept it safely. Second one, he used 5 lakhs for giving bonus and giving feast. So 5 lakhs is gone, but the workers are happy, so they will work nicely. Now third assistant, he bought machine, he made it 5 times more profit also. He used part of that for starting one canteen, so workers will be happy. Plus the product is better, production is more, demand is more, and with the rest of the money he was going to buy more machine, so he will increase the production even more. Correct? So now what is the moral of the story? इस कहानी से क्या सीख मिलती है आपको? आपको अक्ल यूज करनी है. So it is not only necessary to do your work, you have to do it well. Some people work hard. Have you heard of this? Work smart. Have you heard of this? Everyone works hard. मेहनत करनी चाहिए. But you have to use your brain and work smart. How you can work more efficiently? See, skill everyone learnt. What did we say? How to do it nicely, how to do it well, that is important. So here you can see that the third assistant used whatever 5 lakhs was given, he used it in a good manner. Now for better personal development, you want to develop yourself. We inherit the ability to learn many skills. We all can learn many things. The growing age is the time to recognize these abilities and to develop our skills. When you are young, you can learn better. Developing our skills helps us to live an independent, useful and enriching life. We can make our life rich not necessarily with money, with new things that we learn, enjoyment. So we can make our life wonderful and independent by learning these new skills. We can develop ourselves. For that, what is the first thing that we need to do now? First, you will need a good diet. Now, good diet, why must you have? That means you must have proper food. Diet does not mean to not eat enough. Proper nutritious food is required. You know that food is necessary for growth. However, in certain circumstances, a growing child does not get the various food constituents in adequate proportions. Adequate means enough. खाना तो खाते हैं, लेकिन कभी कभी काफ़ी प्रमाण में नहीं मिलता. So you need enough food also. This leads to malnutrition. Malnutrition means you don't get all the nutrition, affecting the growth of that child. For example, a person does not grow as tall as they would have been. Actually आपकी height जो है एक तो माँ बाप से मिलती है, लेकिन आप क्या खाते हैं उस पर भी निर्भर होता है. Some things help you to grow. Even if such a person gets a good diet later on, यानी 18 के बाद में आपको अगर मिला तो what is the use? Till 18 you will be growing. Or later on if he gets, it is of no use for the growth of the body. Other factors that support growth and development. So first thing we saw, what was needed? A good diet. Now let us see what other things are needed. Along with nutritious food, adequate exercise is also necessary for growth and development. Only not to go on eating, you need exercise also. Lack of exercise also affects growth adversely. Adversely means negatively. That means you will not grow properly if you don't have enough exercise. One must also be careful to study well. पढ़ाई भी करनी चाहिए, ठीक से खाना है, exercise करनी है, and you must also study. Avoid addictions. Addictions, we had already learnt about it, correct? Addiction means when you have cigarettes and you cannot do without it, or you start drinking, so all that you must not do. And they are ill effects or negative effects. Develop hobbies. Try to have some hobby, maybe painting, singing, or some people like to collect coins, some people like to collect stamps. All those are good hobbies. Take part in sports and learn new skills. You can learn new things every time. If you want, you can learn some foreign language. You can improve yourself that way. You can learn to play some musical instrument, or you can learn to do things which you have never done before. If we take care to do all this, it leads to good development. Whether boy or girl, each person has every right to get the opportunity to make progress and enrich their own life. Opportunity means chance. Now some children don't get the chance. They cannot afford to go to school, so government has made free schools for everyone. Sometimes they don't get a chance to play, there is no playground around, or they have to help in the house a lot, they have to do a lot of work, so sometimes they don't get opportunity to develop themselves. So what all is needed for development? Let us see. For development, first thing that we needed was good diet. This should be nutritious. Okay, the second thing that we needed was exercise. The third thing that we needed was studies. That means we learn new things. Fourth, hobbies. Then learn new skills. Okay, so in growth, we saw that we are just growing in height or in weight. All this, every person grows. But if you want to develop yourself, you want to develop your personality, then we also say that you must have all these things properly. That means proper diet, proper exercise, you must do your studies, learn new things, have hobbies, and also learn new skills. Then you will be able to develop yourself. Whether it's a boy or a girl, why did they say that everyone must get opportunity? Because sometimes they give opportunity to boy and they don't give that opportunity to the girls. But even girls have the right to develop their personality and they should be given every chance. Each one has a unique personality. Now what is the meaning of unique? Unique, that means like no one else. Like no other. Each person has a unique personality. Your personality will be different, my personality will be different, his will be different, hers will be different. All of us are unique. That means each person has good points or negative points, but we can develop ourselves and we can make ourselves better and better. In your class, there must be some children who are good in studies, while others are good at games and sports. Some sing well, some may act well. So you don't have to feel that, oh, I don't come first in class. Doesn't matter. I win in elocution competition, यानी वक्तृत्व स्पर्धा जब होती है उसमें आप जीतते होंगे, गाने में जीतते होंगे, एक्टिंग में भाग लेते होंगे, तो किसी में तो आप अच्छे होंगे ना. तो you don't have to feel bad that I'm not good in this or not good in that. Everything cannot be good in one person, but every person can be good in at least one thing. So you try to develop that skill of yours. Every person is different from all others. Our physical and mental makeup is not the same. Everyone cannot be tall, everyone cannot be fair, everyone cannot be handsome, but there must be some good quality in you. Our personality develops through our interest and efforts. Efforts यानी मेहनत. You have to take the trouble. You can develop yourself. What we like to do and what we practice every day. So, whatever you like to do, in that you practice. We are not saying you do what you don't like to do. You like singing? Then you learn singing. You improve yourself. You like to play musical instrument? You learn to play some musical instrument, whether it is the Casio or the piano, whichever instrument you like to play. If you like to do sports, then you develop yourself in sports. During the growing years, we also learn to tell what is good and what is bad. आपको पहचान होनी चाहिए, क्या अच्छा है, क्या बुरा है, और आप जानते भी हो. Our personality can be said to be excellent only when we put good thoughts into practice. On your board, very often, they write thought for the day. Okay, suvichar. But that we only read and then we don't practice it. But these thoughts, think about it. And if you can bring it into practice in your real life, अमल में लाना है उसको, सिर्फ पढ़ना नहीं है सुविचार. So then you can also develop your personality. Always remember, we do not learn good values only to write about them in exams. They must be reflected in our behavior. Okay, so here we can put down one more thing. We can also learn what is right or wrong. Okay, so you have to learn how to select the right thing and then do according to that. Now, what we have learned in this lesson, let us do a quick recap. We grow in height and weight, right from birth till we become an adult. A newborn baby cannot do anything for itself. We learn many skills from our parents, teachers, and others. We see similarities in people of the same family. We learnt about it. It's called heredity. Even so, every person is unique. Each person is different. See, you might say brother and sister look alike, but their personality is so different. One is so quiet and one talks so much. One comes first in class, but one is good in sports. So each person is different. We learn more skills and we become better and better, less we depend on others. We can live an independent and useful and enriched life with the help of skills. Now, after the lesson, we have our exercises. So let us solve our exercises now. The first question they have given, what is the solution? Kabir wants to be a professor of zoology. Do you know what is zoology? Zoology is the study of animals. What can he do today to prepare for that? Now, if you want to become a professor of zoology, first of all you have to know, after 10th standard, must I take arts, science or commerce? So for zoology professor, you will have to take science. 11th and 12th standard, you will have to take science. After that, in BSc, that means 3 more years you do for BSc. In BSc, you have different subjects like botany. Botany means study of plants. Zoology, that is study of animals. So you can take the line that you want to specialize in. After doing BSc for 3 years, you can do MSc if you want to do further studies. That is for 2 more years. And if you want to get a doctorate, now this doctorate is known as PhD. Doctor of Philosophy. It is not a medical doctor, So if you want to do doctorate, you can do PhD also, you write your own thesis, and that way you can do whatever you're interested in. But for that, you have to understand what do you like. What are your interests? Don't do it only because, but my father is a doctor, so I became a doctor. Are you interested in becoming a doctor? So first, you must have interest in it. Then, are you good in that subject? You have to see that also. Do you have an aptitude for it? What is the scope for it? That means later on, will you be able to get some job or will you be able to earn? All these things you have to find out in time. Of course, you have plenty of time. Just now, you are only in 5th standard. So, when you go to the 10th standard, by then you will be able to create a clear image for yourself what you want to become in life. What do you like to do? It is best if you do that which you enjoy doing. And in the 10th standard holidays, you can start getting the information of which colleges you can join, which colleges offer which courses, and according to that, you can fulfill your wishes. Now, use your brain power. What skills do we already have before we learn to ride a bicycle? Okay, so now, which skills do we have before we learn to ride a bicycle? First, you can't start learning cycling without knowing how to walk. So first we know how to walk, we know how to run, we know how to balance our own body. Then we need strength in our legs to be able to balance the whole thing, because you have to balance the weight of the bicycle also and yourself also, correct? So you need the skill to be able to have strong legs and balance yourself. Then you have to be careful also with the cycle. If you are going on the main road, by then you should be able to read the signals. Is it red? Is it green? So can I go now? Do I have to wait? Otherwise you can have an accident. So don't go out directly on the main road. First practice cycling in your compound or in your society complex, and then later on, once you're confident, you can go to school also by cycle. So at a certain age, when parents allow you to go to school by cycle, maybe somebody can accompany you for the first time, show you all the different signals, all the crossroads where there's a lot of traffic, and then you'll get confident and then you can start cycling. Okay, you should be able to control it properly. Next, Suman wishes to run a restaurant of her own in the future. Okay, she wants to have her own little restaurant. Which of the skills she is learning today will be of use in her future occupation? Now, very often the mother always tells, learn cooking, you'll have to do cooking afterwards when you grow older and all. So of course that is one of the skills. But to run a restaurant, it is not that you will be cooking. You are not going to be the chef maybe. If you're the owner, you're managing the restaurant. Now, to run a restaurant, she has to first of all have the ability to be able to interact with people. Communication is very important. So that is one skill we have to learn, how to talk to people. Now you'll be talking not only the guests who come, we always say the guest is always right, you have to talk politely to them, but you have so much staff which is working in the kitchen, staff which is working in the restaurant, which you have to coordinate, you have to be polite to them, you have to keep them happy. So she has to learn all those things. What are the prices? From where will she buy the rice, the vegetables? Where is the wholesale market? She will need to know that. She will need to know different recipes. What type of restaurant does she want to have? Does she want to have Italian or Mexican or Chinese or Indian? Which type of restaurant, which type of cuisine is she going to serve? Then of course she can go to catering college. For going to catering college, after 10th standard, you do your 11th and 12th. And after 12th standard, you can pass an entrance exam and get into IHM, that is the catering college. If you feel that you want to do commerce, then also it is okay, or if you want to do science, also it's okay. But the type of exam that you have, there is a lot of biochemistry. So then it becomes easier after doing science. But it is not that you cannot do commerce and join catering college. Sometimes you might feel 11th and 12th I did something, then mera man badli ho gaya, because sometimes time to time you keep on changing your mind and you say, abhi mujhe ye karna hai, ye wo karna hai. Yes, you can do. Sometimes you can switch lines also. So she will need to know all these. Then she will also have to visit different restaurants, hotels, how do they run, to see how it is, and then that will help her in running a restaurant. How many of you want to run a restaurant? How many want to go for zoology? Some of you have no clue. Pata nahi kya karna hai, no? because just now you're only in the 5th standard. But by the time you're 15 or you're 17 and you have to choose, you will be able to. Now go to the 3rd question. Answer the following questions. Okay, so here we have what is meant by heredity. So now let us see what heredity means. Should we write it down on the board, and then you can write down the answers for yourself. Okay. First answer, heredity means the characteristic traits and features of parents being passed to their children. Okay, these are known as inherited traits or heredity. Second question, what difference do we see between children in pre-primary classes and standard 5? So now, pre-primary class as compared to standard 5. Now what difference will you see in the children? First, you will see that here height, strength is not fully developed. Okay, while in standard 5 you will find that it is developed already. Then you will find less maturity. That means they will not be so mature, they will be a little childish. And you will also see that over here it is just the opposite. Height and strength will have developed fully. That means here height and strength will be more developed. Here they will be more mature. Here they will have less skills. And in the 5th standard, I think you have more skills now, right? So you can see the difference that people have grown, you have grown up, and now you have more maturity and more skill. Now, what changes take place in us from birth till adulthood? Now let us see, we had already written when we become little older, that means first we start as a child, correct? So our birth weight, that means when you're an infant, you might be over here 2 or 3 kgs when you were born. Then when you became a toddler, maybe you were about say 25 kgs. Then as a child, what is your weight now in 5th standard? Only 40? Okay, I will write 40 kilos now. And as a teenager, how much were you? 50? And as an adult, maybe you even became 60 kilos. So you can see how over a period of time your weight has been growing. Of course, your height has also been growing. That means if you were about 3 feet over here, as a teenager, you are more than 5 feet, and then by the age of 18, your full height has been achieved. Next, 4th question. Name any 3 skills that you have acquired. Now this you can answer on your own. What skills have you acquired? What have you learned? Have you learned how to do cycling? Have you learned skating? Because that also requires new learning or skill. So whatever you have learned which is new, not which you already know, something which is new you can write. So you can write cycling, skating. Have you learned how to do some specific dance? Because sometimes you can just dance on your own to the music, but sometimes you have to learn the steps. Anyone over here learns Bharatnatyam or Kathak? So that means they have learned a new skill. Or maybe you have learned how to do the salsa, or you have learned how to do hip hop. So those are also dances. They are dance forms that you have learned how to do. How many of you have learned to play table tennis? So you know how to play table tennis, or you know how to play badminton. So you learn the rules, how to play it, and you try to become better and better. The more you practice, it makes you perfect. Practice makes you perfect. Now, question number 4, we already saw what skills you have learnt. For each person, the answer will be different. And the 5th one, what is meant by physical growth? So, growth in height and weight is known as physical growth. That's why in growth, we had already given. So, growth in height and weight. These two things will be called physical growth. Physical यानी शारीरिक. Your body will grow, that will be height and weight. But otherwise, we also develop ourselves by learning new skills, getting more efficient, and you can see only growth is not important. Only your body growing is not important. We also need to develop ourselves, and for developing ourselves, all these qualities were important. So now I hope you become a well-rounded personality and you develop new skills. Learn every day. Till you die, you can keep on learning new things. There is no age for learning. Today, even your grandmother might be interested in learning. She might want to know how to use the computer. She might be interested in knowing how to use the new style of mobile, because you have all the latest things and she may not have used them before. So they also want to learn. There is no age at which you stop learning. The more skills you acquire, the more efficient you make yourself, the more well developed your personality will be. Do not think your personality develops only on height or your looks. Height, looks we get from our parents. It is hereditary. We cannot help it. We cannot always feel bad about it. You have to have confidence in yourself, in your skills, and develop that good quality that you have, whether it is music, whether it is sports, and all of you will be well-rounded personalities. In school, we give importance not only to studies. Why do we have other curricular activities? For having all-round personality.